Have you ever wondered how you could be attacked with an email that isn't malware originally running on your machine, and how it could actually reach out and send your credentials to the cloud? If you are, come join us in this room.
Dom Kirby, Matt Lee, The Game.
Happy Wednesday and welcome to The Game. We're live today. We're live in Denver at the PAX 8, big grown-up studio. So super excited to be here. We're gonna mess around with Moniker today. So we're gonna do another TryHackMe room. We're gonna try to steal some credentials through a ridiculous bug in Outlook, for being honest. And we're gonna see if we can pull it off. We're already having a little trouble, so this will be a very authentic show.
Yeah.
But before we dive in, I am watching the YouTube right here, but I'm only watching youtube.com/PAX8Cloud. And it's the only one our producers can put on the screen. So if you want to chat with us, maybe give us some advice on how to get around this stupid port listening error, that's the place to do it. I'm running out of time, so I can tell you sign up for Beyond, because you're about to be out of time
Right.
to sign up for Beyond. I just saw an email this morning. It's a big number. Just about to be out of room. So if you want to come. If you don't buy your ticket. It's up to you. But let's dive in and see how this live action attack box is coming.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say one of the things that's so fun about doing these live demos is they will have problems, and I'm okay with it. I don't care. So we're going to be restarting our attack box. I did some testing before the show, and I launched Responder. Didn't seem to terminate properly. I might have BG'd it or something. So I'm just restarting the host. But we can still dig into, while we're waiting, kind of what we're actually trying to talk about by just kind of scrolling over. And I'll fix this view here in a little bit when we get it back up and running. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Moniker Link, CVE-2024-21413, right? So already by this, it was done in 2024, at least when it was initially issued a vulnerability number. And it was 21,000 through the year. And if you pay attention, Dom, 21,000 probably puts you mid-year, early year. Like, where do you think that falls?
Yeah, it close out the year at like 52, 54, something like that.
Well, it's front-loaded in the beginning of the year because this thing was published in February, right? And so let's dig in. What is this vulnerability and Moniker Link? First off, we're going to be using TryHackMe to do this, as we've been on a theme lately, just trying to show you how to use TryHackMe to learn. And we're going to start by reading the introduction. Every one of these rooms that are traditional learning rooms like this, they guide you through the process. Teach, do, show, right? Teach, show, do, and then tell you what happened. And so hopefully I'm demystifying this with you all a little bit and showing you what you're going to do. We started out by starting the virtual machine for the victim and by starting the attack box up here on the left, which you can't see right now. That attack box will launch over in the split window, as you'll see now, and also so will the other victim machine. We'll go over in this split box that we have. And then we're going to move them around, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But let's look at this. On February 13th, so 21,000 in February.
It's a great
year
last year.
It was a rough year, 2024. Slash and grab was last year, like so much. Anyways, it was a Microsoft Outlook remote code execution, right? So we're being able to run some code remotely without somebody's will being involved there. And credential leak vulnerability. And that's the one we're going to focus on a little bit today. It was assigned the number 2024-21413, Moniker Link. It was I'm going to mess this up, but Halfi Lee of Checkpoint Software research is credited with discovering this vulnerability back then as well. Here, let me jump back over because it's telling me, oh, that's good. No, that's fair. No, we don't want file system. Who cares about that anyway, right? All right, let me get this back to viewable for us here. So let me go to scroll below. I'm also trying to work with this, keeping it in your view, y'all. Full screen, go back over here, exit full screen. I do talk to myself in normal days too, Dom.
It does occur.
Yeah,
it does, yeah.
You're around,
yeah.
So you know. And then we're going to heal this one by simply, I
think we closed that one.
I think we did. That would explain how I messed myself up here. Okay, so reconnect. And this one. All right, so we should be good now. Let's see if the fate's with us on this one, but I think we're going to be okay.
We'll be all right.
All right, so CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, says, and I could be wrong on that, I think it's Common Vulnerability.
It is common.
Yeah. And published date was February 13th of 2024. You have your MSRC write-up from the Microsoft Center. Remote code execution, credential leak. It was a critical severity. Now, this may come up in a minute, Dom, right? Because TryHackMe tries to do testing of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The attack complexity is low. What does that combination mean to you? A critical severity and a low attack complexity, Dom.
That's bad. That's bad. Low complexity is exactly what it sounds like, but people tend to mix it up. It is low complexity means it's easy for me to use against you.
Right.
That's what low complexity means. And critical, obviously, so it's a big boom and it's easy to execute said boom.
One red button, the whole building blows up. It's like those self-destruct buttons. Like this is low complexity, high effectiveness, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking at here. So that's why it's scored a 9.8, right? CVSS really just looks at severity and complexity. It doesn't get into actual feasibility in some of the modern scoring methodologies. But okay, it is vulnerable on Microsoft Office LTSC 2021, Office 365 apps for enterprise, Microsoft Office 2019 and 2016. There were hot fixes, which we're going to get into as we go through this course. But it is definitely, those are the affected vulnerable versions. It says learning objectives. First, we're going to learn how it works, what is the protected view, how do we use this vulnerability to leak credentials, like to steal your NTLM hash, and we're going to go from there. So it'll get you to start the machine. That takes you anywhere from 2 to 12 minutes.
It could be a while.
Yeah, so, get you a cup of coffee and enjoy the day. They give you the credentials in case you're not going to do it in split view if you're doing it like remoting in. But since we're using the attack box, we don't have to do that. We're just going to actually show it. All right, Dom, what severity rating, and anybody in the audience, what severity rating was this assigned?
I believe they gave it a critical.
I think it was. All right. I'll also say I'm doing this on Kat's login, on my wife Kat's login, because I already did this room and I didn't want to reset my progress and lose my points, so I just completely broke the EULA and signed in as my wife. So if anybody wants to call TryHackMe and tell them, let me know. All right, cool.
We'll give you the number.
Yeah, I'll give you the number. You can call them. All right, so this goes on to say, Moniker Link. Outlook can render emails as HTML. You may notice this being used by your favorite newsletters, right? You get these pretty emails, right? We always want them. That's what we go for.
All the spam uses.
Yeah, all the spam uses it, right? Outlook can parse hyperlinks as well, and it can also open URLs known as Moniker Links, specifying applications like file or other things. Normally, Outlook will protect and prompt a security warning when an external application is triggered. They say, whoa, you're trying to call Skype, bro.
Right.
That's not okay. And so this is that pop-up view that you would normally expect. What's interesting is they're saying if you use the file Moniker link, we can instruct Outlook to access the file. This is what we're going to do, right? So if you look at this command, this first command says, it's normal HTML, href file, // attack machine, right? Test, click me. But look at the next one. There's almost no difference. What's different? Can you point out what that difference might be, Dom?
Yeah, that's an exclamation point.
It's pretty simple. Yeah, that's it. If you add an exclamation point, you can escape Outlook's protected view. And that was what this vulnerability was. This was the core of it, is being able to say, I can actually just escape that protected view. And then there's a second part of it that we're going to see as well, which is allowing it to reach out and send some credentials. And it says, we as attackers can provide a Moniker link, right, with file / attack machine IP address or publicly routable TLD, right, / test exclamation point exploit. And it says that we can do that, and the share doesn't have to even exist, because as part of that handshake, what's going to happen?
Matter. Well, I want to give it a hash and say, hey, it's me.
I'm me. I'm Dom. Here's my hash. What's the problem with having a hash, Dom?
And crack it eventually, especially in T hashes.
I might even be able to replay it.
I might even be able to replay it.
Yeah, there's a possibility I can replay the hash. I could crack it. It could be in a rainbow table somewhere. I mean, I personally use Dom is awesome. 1.2 or something.
So many rainbow tables.
Yeah. So it's in so many of them. There's so many people type that out.
The challenge with NT in general, NTLM, is it does just push hashes around. So it's a challenge in that I can just replay that hash often. It's even Kerberos has its own set of challenges around this, and what doesn't have this problem though? Modern file sharing systems like SharePoint and OneDrive. Like that's just not
because
just
they
food
don't
for
pass
thought.
a hash.
And
in fact, when this came out, that was my first thought for at least my analysis at the time is, if you don't have anything stored in NTLM, okay.
There's no hash. There's no
nothing
hash
to pass.
to
Yeah. So when you think about an AADJ or Entra ID joined with SAS only, I don't have any NTLM hashes. There shouldn't be any unless I'm storing some SMB file or something locally. So this asks us what Moniker link and type do we use in this hyperlink? Well, up above you might be predicted to type in HTTP because it's set up that way, but that's not the case. It's file. But if you're curious and you need help, you can click hint. And hint will try to give you a hint that I can't see on this screen because I didn't set us up for it. So I suck. That's okay, but I like me. It's file, as we saw up here. That's what's being passed here. File,
and that's just a protocol. You can do this with file, HTTP, FTP.
Yep.
There's options.
Anything you're wanting to do that would also pass that hash as part of that identification process. All right, so what is this special character used? Bang?
Bang.
Should be it, just bang. All right. So we learned what it is. We know that
Maybe it
we
got
are.
startled. Maybe that was.
That's what it was. It just
Thanks,
whoa,
startled.
whoa, too much, too much overload. All right, exploitation. So now we're going to look at the exploitation of this, and it's going to use a couple tools. We're going to use Responder and a few others, but we have the POC. Let's talk about POCs, Dom. What's good about POCs and what sucks about POCs?
Man, that's a controversial question.
I know. I was just tossing it out there.
You know, there's those of us in the community that just hate when POCs come out, and there's those of us in the community that really like it. I really like a good POC.
Helps you understand what happened. You know where it's going.
But the POC is like, here's exactly how you could execute this attack, right? Like, here's the play, like what we're seeing here, essentially.
That's it. We're going to copy this, and we're going to go do it. Now, it's with some very set up conditions for this, but you could do this on the internet. We do this. In fact, you and I played this game for some recent stuff for boot camp.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
But,
all right. So what we're going to do is they're saying we're going to look at this POC that they've created and it's available on GitHub. It starts by saying import SMTP library from email mime text, import mime text. So we're getting in all these different classic Python pieces we need to actually do this. And then it says sender email as a variable, attacker at, right, receiver email, password, HTML content. You could just deliver this yourself. It wouldn't have to be in this POC. You could just do it in an email, right? The rest of this is the HTML string into bytes and attach it to the message object. That's this aspect to be able to use it. That's the rest of this. And so this is the POC. It says it takes an attacker and victim email, right? You want to have those both. It requires the password to authenticate. That's for the sending side, right? So you could actually have any kind of thing like a mail relay, pwn grandma's box. It doesn't matter. And you see this all the time, right? You get that email from Jane Smith at Gmail. It's probably not Jane emailing you.
Probably not.
It's probably a threat actor that pwned Jane. Right, okay, so they then take us through this and say what we're gonna be doing, the subject, all this. Okay, they're asking us to set up a responder with this variable. The -I is an interface, the ENS5 is the interface name in this case because we're using the attacker box. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna make this bigger and I'm gonna try to zoom in for y'all as well and see if I can make this a little better. Zoom in, I'm gonna zoom in one more, I think we're good there. Okay, so we're gonna go responder. I don't know why my voice just cracked. It must be turning 13 again. ENS5. And we're going to hope that we actually get listening this time. Last time we did not. We're getting the same problem for not listening for events. So I don't think we're actually going to work. And I don't know that I understand why. I felt like I had another copy of it open somewhere that was running it. But I don't.
Oh, we bounced our machine.
And,
oh, wait.
We are getting poisoned. Okay. It says it's not listening, but we might be okay. We'll find out.
Let's run it. Let's see.
We'll play around with it. It didn't look like it got hooks because it should have just said, I'm good, but it's okay. All right, so now we're going to go back over to the victim. They want us to prepare the victim. And we've already done that for the most part. What are their instructions for dealing with this? I don't want to set up or create an account, so I have to lean in because I'm an old man. I don't want to set up or create an account. And then I think you can just close this. Yes? Okay. I think we're good. So we're probably... We're probably ready based on that. We got it up. We're not going to put in a product key. You'll see the Outlook instance, and for this room, there's already been an account set up. So that's one of the things that I love about these rooms is they go through all the work that you would have to do yourself. If you want to do this, you are spinning up a victim. You are spinning up an SMTP server. You are spinning up a receiving server. They just make this easy. Yeah, they do it kind of janky. They set up these SMTP receivers and things that are just working that way. But it makes it easier to demonstrate, unless, of course, it doesn't work here, in which case I take back all my words. So they want us to copy and paste this over. So we're going to take this POC that we got from up here above, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste that all in to a file that I've created called exploit.py. In the instructions, they do give you that as a request to do that. And so we're going to go get another there, and we're going to say nano exploit.py. And then we're going to paste it in, which it doesn't exist because I rebooted the machine. So I think that pretty well answers the other question too, Dom. Oh, that's right. Let's teach you about the jankiness of this clipboard. All right. So the way you has to clipboard is you have to clipboard into here, and then you can clipboard into here. So it's a little bit janky. The first time you do that, that gets a little weird. I think y'all saw that pretty well. Basically, anything you're going to do from either direction will happen via this clipboard interface is kind of the point. You can also get by it with certain browser settings, but I'm not getting into that right now. All right, so we have this. Let's go ahead and view, zoom in a little bit for y'all. Make sure we can read this. View, zoom in. We're going to read this. We're going to expand this up. All right, let's go back to our instructions. So they then tell us that our job is to modify this with our data, right? That's obviously going to be the next piece. So they want us to change line 12 in our POC to reflect the IP address of our attack box. Well, where can we get that IP address of our attack box? Right up there, 10.10.143.175, right? So we're going to go in here, and we're going to go find, what did they say, line 12?
12.
It's going to be up here a little ways, I think. I'm not counting lines.
There's a hotkey. What's the nano hotkey? I can't read.
I don't remember. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's
That's not it.
that is not it. We'll find it. It's going to be in here. Where's the variable for the IP? SMTP a mail server. Server equals mail server.
Let me. Okay.
Where's our variable for the mail server? Do they have an early variable? Receiver email, sender email, HTML content, message. Oh, y'all get to see me struggle.
Moniker Link line 12.
Moniker Link line 12 in our POC to reflect the IP address of our attack box. Doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Oh.
It should be SMTP lib machine IP. Okay, that's what's getting replaced. SMTP lib. Well, here's this one. That one for sure. Maybe
That
they've
should be our
controlled the
attacker
SMB.
machine.
Okay. So this is going to be 10.10.143.5. Yeah, okay. So that's that IP. Is there anywhere else? There should have been, maybe they control the SMTP. Maybe mail server is actually a named variable in there. That's probably what that is. Like mail server might actually be a host
be.
record.
I mean, let's give it a shot. Let's see
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, y'all get to see us mess up here.
We can
Or
also
Matt
cat
mess
the
up.
host file if we wanted to.
Control. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. And then I want yes without any other buttons in there. Okay, now we're going to cat exploit.py. Okay, cool. So we've got all that data in there. We should see our IP address for the attacker box, 10.10.143.175. That is the right IP. Okay, we've prepared their payload in this, right? It's going to send an email. That's a lot of what they constructed in this, is sending that email, making it into bytes, and then sending those over as an attachment. And so we're just going to do the exploit.py. We're going to go run it now. I thought I would have to change it, but okay. Python, did they say 3?
Yep.
You get to hear my blurps of Matt mistyping. Okay, let's get our attacker email password. What is our attacker email password?
Attacker.
Whew,
That's convenient.
that's a rough one. I don't know if I can type it. Bala, error number, name or service not known. Okay, yeah. Exploit py. So we're going into like dependency hell maybe. The Python will print email delivered. Python.
I think we're stuck on the mail server as well. Tricky from here.
We're stuck where? Does it need to be changed to the IP?
Line
Do you think?
31.
Yeah. Did they say to change the other one too?
SMTP lib dot.
Ah, okay. That's on me.
So it's got to be that server.
See, that's why we have Dom here. He's the smart one. Okay, yeah. So we probably had to put it in both places. I'm guessing the mail server is that IP, or did they give us an IP for it separate?
I didn't see an IP for it.
So it's probably our IP? Correct?
Modify. It just says
Modify 12.
modify 12.
Yeah, good. Attacker and victim email
Oh,
normally.
replace the mail server with machine underscore IP.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Here, yes? That would be our IP. Okay. 10.10.143.175. 10.10. So if you're watching at this point and you've been dispelled that I don't fail, I fail a lot. I'm really stupid. So like if that means you need to leave, then I would say see yourself out now, because we all fail. All right.
Let's give it a shot.
Python 3 exploit.
.lol.
Yes.
Gotcha on that one. That was teacup.
It might have been teacup.
That might be the kind of threat actor I'd be. Just moderately annoying at random moments.
That'd be pretty dope. Connection unexpected.
Try machine, because it says replace it with
Or are they
machine
meaning
underscore IP.
They're really saying, but that's usually replaced in the conversation. Where's that? Where are you seeing that instruction?
It's under the. that
Say
one.
here they say
Oh,
by 10.10.
I haven't launched
Oh,
the
they gave me an
machine
IP.
on
I don't want to talk about it.
See, yeah, okay.
10.10.84.198. 10.10.84.198.
So they have given us a mail server.
Yes, they have.
How
Y'all
polite
laughing
of
at
them.
home, please put your times in the comments and tell us, idiota. All right, what was it? 10.10.
I don't have it on mine. You gotta 10 something. 194, I want to say.
It doesn't make it easier that I'm reading this far away either. 10.10.84.198. 10.10.84.
84.
198.
198.
That's our email server that they want us to talk to. The top one is our attack box. The next one's our email server. And if you read the instructions, it's a lot easier. I just was not.
We're just flying through them.
Yeah.
It's more fun this way, if you ask me.
It is. I don't disagree. All right, let's see if we get an exploit this time. ATTACKER.
The nice thing about this is we're in a controlled environment, so you're not going to
Email delivered. Yeah, you can't hurt yourself, right? To Dom's point. Okay, so we should have
Hey,
new
look.
email. Look at this.
That looks legit.
All right, so now what we're going to want to do is go back to our responder and bring that guy up so we can look at him. We're done with this one, right? We sent the mail. Now we're sitting here waiting. It captured my
was quick.
password that I put in.
Yep.
No. This is when I put in that attacker Moniker Link THM, it tried to deliver a message, and because responders just set up to listen to anything, it was like, sure.
We sent it to ourselves.
No problem, homie. Gotcha. yeah, so it sent my creds. So now I've captured my attacker's email creds.
Okay.
No, I digress. That means we are listening, so we're good. Let's go ahead and see what the next steps are. So the next steps are for us to double click on that and then click on Click Me. So let's go click on Click Me. Boom. And it says we can't find 10.10.1. Did I type it in wrong? Yep. No?
No, I think that's it. But there's no file there.
Let's
There's
go
no,
see.
we're not
Oh, that's
serving
right.
up
We're not
SMB.
hosting anything.
Look at that.
All right, so here we go.
Look
We
at that
now
hash.
have the username and the hash, right? So that's now what we would go try to see if it's in a rainbow table, see if we can crack it with a brute force method, see if we can use credential stuffing to try to attack that user if we know something about that user, right?
It's April, so your user's password is spring 2025.
It's
right?
got to
Like
be
it's,
it.
you know,
So it's one more, next month,
yeah.
right? Yeah, we're totally good. All right, so we've done the executed exploit. We got back the hash. I love that they covered this hash, even though it's a fake hash anyway. They're so OPSEC. They're like, bruh, we're going to hide this hash. You ain't getting this hash, homie.
I think they're wanting to, yeah.
What is the name of that?
Responder.
This is responder. Yep. What type? Tab took me to the back to the top of the page. I hate you. What type of hash is captured once the hyperlink in the email has been clicked? NTLM version something probably is what they're wanting here. That's really long.
It's going to be
It's
in
going
that.
to be.
They blocked it. They got you. You gotta pull up the real hash.
Yeah. But it says what type of hash is captured. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like just get
Yeah,
it from
should
here.
be in that.
TryHackMe. No, it should be an NTLM. It should just be called an NTLM hash, I believe, but they're looking for something more. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's get our hint. Let's just be stupid here. This is an authentication protocol. Is it Kerberos?
It could be a Kerberos secret, but that wouldn't. Nope.
Nope. Not NTLM. It's too short. Supported by underscores. Please make sure it matches the answer format represented by underscores. So they're saying that long, right, is what they're looking for. And
What did the hint say?
I think
didn't
it
catch
said, this is an authentication protocol, NTLM.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, right, thank you. So what is it it's NTLM.
It is NTLM, yeah.
What are we?
How many letters?
Net NTLM is what they're looking for. Net NTLM V2.
Yeah. Okay.
Success, the victim's net NTLM. See, like, I'm just overthinking.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. All right, next they're going to get into detection. So what did we do? Let's talk about what happened there, Dom. Tell me the sequence of events for this kill chain.
It's pretty straightforward. You know, we sent a malicious email. Obviously, if we were doing this for real, we'd write a much better looking email.
Hopefully. Wouldn't you say click?
Ideally. It would be like, click here, please. But here's the thing with Windows, is when you look for file, it's going to use SMB, Server Message Block. It's the oldest file sharing protocol. Not the oldest, but it's an old one.
Right.
And the cool thing about SMB is Windows like, oh, you're connecting to a share. So let me just go ahead and toss you some creds so you can just let me in.
Network NTLM, right? For net NTLM.
Well, you know,
right?
with SFTP and with FTP, all the clients are like, hey, you sure you want to like connect?
Yeah, this fingerprint.
Is this where you meant to go?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SMB's like, no, here you go.
Here you
Like,
go. Yeah, here's my creds.
So we've stolen that NTLM hash, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, I can replay that probably right back to your domain controller.
That's what Responder does. It's
right.
part of what it can do, at
Yeah.
least in that regard.
Or I can look to crack it. So I got a lot of ways I can take advantage of your NTLM hash.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's look at some remediation, or detection first, then we'll get into remediation on this. All right, so Yara. What does Yara stand for? Do you remember?
Yet another recursive acronym.
We should get like a ding, ding.
Ding.
Yeah, maybe we could do that one day or something. Rule, right? That's the name. This is just a structure for how we look for it. Basically, it's just looking for these things, right? It's looking for file in that, right? The file colon front slash, and then going out with that. I guess they have a file size less than a certain amount condition in there as well. All right, it says additionally, so you can do it with Yara where you're doing live detections in like a SIEM
On
or
an edge or,
EDR or other methodology. Additionally, the SMB request from the victim, the client can be seen in a packet capture with a truncated NTLM v2 hash. Like, great, I can see when you send the dead body over that way, right? Like, here's my hash, have a great day. I'm going to add some more to this.
Now, if you bounce your creds.
Go.
If you bounce your creds, the hash is no longer
changes,
good.
yeah.
Right? Like,
But let's add to this, though. You know what else you can do? Maybe follow CIS when it comes to dealing with firewalls. And if you don't use SMB external on the internet, don't allow it.
now, one more thing, too. It is wholly unacceptable to launch an Azure file share and access it over the internet. It's not allowed. You shouldn't do it. It's a solution.
There's many other ways to do this.
The product's not meant for that.
That's not what
Please
it's for.
don't use Azure file shares that way.
Good call out. Yeah, so these are both detection methodologies, right, that could be done. And then remediation, they get into remediative aspects saying, hey, there's a patch. Go patch. Like, don't be stupid, patch, right? Like, that one's a good one.
And SMB does not need to leave your network.
Yeah,
that is not a thing
that's my other thing. They don't really put it in here, but like it goes back to if you don't use it, don't let somebody beat me to death with it. My granddad always said, if you jump me in a rock pile, I sure as hell pick up a rock.
Right.
And so don't leave rocks around if you don't need them. Don't leave an SMB external rock around if you need it. Do not click random links, duh. Preview links before clicking them. I don't know how much that would actually help in this case for most users.
Be tough. Be tough.
And then forward suspicious emails to the relative department. That's in 17 on how to report an incident, right? 14.6, train your users on how to report an incident.
It's also to, like, if you have an Avanan or a Microsoft Defender, there's very, very rare, probably not in your customer base reasons to let a file link through. If you see a file protocol link, just block it. It's probably not legit.
100%. The other thing it says too is preventing the SMB protocol might do more harm than good. Yes, but it's more about where you use it. And if you're a modern client and not using a lot of shares, then the attack surface isn't a big a deal because you don't have NTLMs. So it's kind of an interesting path there.
Well, and even if you're not modern, right? What are your 1918 ranges that exist within your network? If you're
at least limited to that.
If you're on 10, 12, 13.0/24, then only let SMB out to that, right? So you can do.
And now I'd have to at least be on your network and have already compromised something in some form or fashion in order for me to have a responder endpoint to listen to it inside that network, right? And that's the point. And then don't forget that you always have to close things with mischief managed. I've not really seen that before, but I'm pretty stoked about mischief managed being.
I think I've seen mischief managed in a couple TryHackMe.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So we got a one-day streak for my wife. She got 40 points, and we completed 6 tasks in our walkthrough room. This was an easy one, and easy. They typically guide you through it. What I'm trying to do is dispel the fear of doing this stuff if you're an entry, right? I'm not great. You saw me fail 5 times. You'll probably fail. It'll take you a minute to struggle and figure it out.
I didn't truly understand how an SMB transaction happened until I tinkered with a room that was messing with NTLM hashes.
Yeah.
So even like I gained a better understanding of that technology when I first played it with the pass the hash tag. So even doing this kind of stuff will help you understand how things work, right? There's some attacks I believe in TryHackMe that I found before on OpenID Connect and intercepting tokens and those sorts of things and understanding how an access token works. So all that is valuable learning, whether or not you're into the red teaming part.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'd do is to bring this back to like the whole like be kind, rewind, right? kind of thing. These are resources. Remember last week when we talked about how sometimes it's really slow or attack box is a pain in the butt or those type of things. Make sure that you go through and trim out your resources, right? When you're done, you can go ahead and say next. You can go ahead and close out. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can go back in the room and make sure you kill your VM. You can kill your attack box. You can do all kinds of those things. But make sure you're cleaning up your resources and not letting them sit and burn compute and RAM on their environment.
Also on your own machine. Like if you're running a Kali VM, turn it off.
Yeah. Or if maybe you built a whole bunch of elaborate infrastructure that's publicly routable and might accidentally ransom grandma.
You don't want to ransom any grandmas.
Grandma might get Gam's going to be awful mad when she can't get that
mad.
recipe for sassafras.
Sassafras.
I couldn't come up with anything else. I was like, sassafras looks like the right one. All right. I don't know. I think we're at that last play of the game. All right. Play of the game. I'm going to say it. This is my big belief. If you are being a defender and you do not understand how to attack, you are not going to be a very good defender. And a lot of the things that we do, we often make assumptions. I understand how this works. I know how this functions. I've got it. Sometimes they're completely wrong. I spent an entire year believing that checking the persistent access token in Microsoft's conditional access policies would stop someone from using Evilgenix against me. Guess what? First time I tested it? No, because it never terminates the session, which means it is a persistent session, and it never gets terminated. Therefore, you don't have that functional. And it's one of those things where unless you go do it and learn it, you won't understand it, in my opinion. And added to that, you have easy ways to go do these things where it has no excuse but 14 or 15 bucks a month to be able to go train and learn. There's attack ranges all over the place. I'm going to end with this. Do the things that are necessary to teach yourself, because then I don't have to tell you to block out outbound SMB. You'll make that decision easily. Have a great day.
Game over.
Yeah, I mean, that's the show. Listen, if you don't understand the bad guys, you can't possibly understand how to be a good guy. It just is what it is, right? A defensive lineman really understands how an offensive lineman operates. That's just how this works, and it's the same in our world. So definitely try out some red teaming. TryHackMe is probably my favorite. There's other ranges out there.
Yep.
Man, 15 bucks a
Anti-siphon,
month. Yeah,
Hackbox, you know.
Anti-siphon's really great too. But for 15 bucks a month, I don't have to mess around with nothing if I don't want to. I have done it just at the airport on crappy Wi-Fi when I had a layover. So try it out. Anyways, that is our show. We will not be in the studio next week. As a matter of fact, we will be in Chicago at Security Boot Camp, and I don't even know that we've planned how and
We
if
may
we're
not
going to do
have.
the show.
They might be there to see the end of our kill chain.
You may
We'll
or may
see.
not see us next week, but you'll definitely see us in an upcoming Wednesday on PAX8 Live.
All right, let's stack some papers. You know,
Yeah.
that's good.